This past Memorial Day weekend, I had the honor of coming to my hometown, Chicago, to participate in the alumni spring concert of the violin school I attended for nearly a decade. This was my second time attending an alumni concert for the school, and this one felt a little different though. The reason for that is because one of my violin teachers, Mrs. Betty Haag, turned 90 years old and will be retiring from teaching after 49 years. Mrs. Haag wasn't my main private teacher, but she believed in me enough to ask me to be a part of the Magical Strings of Youth, a violin performing group that I got to tour to Italy with, to the Czech Republic, and to California. Being on those tours gave me memories that I'll share and cherish with my family. One day when my kids are older, I can tell them that Daddy got to play for Pope Benedict XVI. But also, these tours and all the repertoire classes gave me friendships that are to this day some of my closest friendships. These annual spring concerts changed my life, and they were the foundation of why I wanted to become a professional musician. I remember I attended a music camp in Winona Lake, Indiana, for 2 summers, and this was on the non-tour years with the Magical Strings of Youth. But when I went to this camp, it was like a week long, and I was amongst my friends from that touring group. We were supposed to perform a solo in the sanctuary or in the church in that town, in this camp where it was organized. And I was wearing a white shirt, I was wearing some dark black pants and black shoes with a belt. But I had a really cool design on this white shirt, and I thought the button-down shirt would look cool if I didn't tuck it in. But little did I know that Mrs. Haag asked the teacher to come up on stage to tell me to tuck in my shirt. I go, wait, you want me to tuck in my shirt now in front of all these people? I'm about to perform. She goes, Mrs. Haag wants you to tuck in your shirt. And I was so embarrassed. Even like when I'm telling you the story, I'm cringing. It was awful. The next day, Mrs. Haag talked to me and kind of explained why. And looking back at it now, as a violin teacher, as a father, as a mentor, it makes complete sense. You want to make sure that if you're on stage, you want to present your absolute best self to your audience, because if you present yourself to your absolute best, then the audience is going to react to that. And back then I didn't know that, because at the moment I was just thinking about my shirt not being tucked in. You want to present your best self. People are going to respond to how you present yourself on stage. If you present yourself like a schlob, then you will be treated and maybe perceived like a schlob on stage. They're not going to treat you seriously. In that type of setting, people have come out of their way to come see you perform, and they have come out of their way to make other plans just so that way they can see you perform. And I value that lesson to this day, and I make all my students dress up appropriately for the performance. And this is a lesson that I want to share with all of you, because Mrs. Haag was that person that, even though I was upset, she knew the big lesson there. And it takes a lot of discipline as a teacher to stand firmly in what you believe in and say, no, you have to do it this way, because this is going to be good for you, it's going to be good for the audience, it's going to be good for your performance and how you play. But in addition to that, Mrs. Haag had really high standards, and she wanted me to have high standards for myself too. And I have high standards for my students now. And not so that way they can become the professional violinist or professional musician. It's so that they can have high standards for themselves in life, in every single area of their life. My goal for each and every one of you, and for all my students, is for you to have high standards, to achieve excellence, and use your experience from playing the violin to achieve excellence in other areas of your life. And that excellence can be taught and it can be shown. And that is one of my goals as a violin teacher, is to show what excellence looks like and what's possible when you work hard to achieve that excellence. And I continue to rely on the teachings of my mentors to help me with those high standards, because without them, I wouldn't be here today. And without Mrs. Haag's standards and showing me what it's like to be on a violin touring group and to play at a very high level, that's something that I take with me everywhere I go. All of this to say, Mrs. Haag has taught me that the world is a more beautiful place when people are playing beautiful music. And that's a lesson that I take with me everywhere I go in my everyday life, into my son, into my students. These are the things that really inspire me to become a better violinist. And I hope that this story helps you become a better violinist and to help inspire you to achieve greatness and to achieve excellence in your everyday life. Because music taught me that, and music can do that for you too. So I want to say thank you, Mrs. Haag, for showing me a beautiful world with music. I just really want to thank today's sponsor, Bandzoogle. Bandzoogle has been a sponsor of the channel, and they are today's sponsor of this video. And without them, I really could not have been able to achieve my music presence online and to share my music with you. It's because of Bandzoogle I can blog, I can sell music, I can just stay interacted with my audience and stay interactive with my community. And I've been using Bandzoogle since 2017, guys. I've been using them every month, every day to help improve my presence online. And Bandzoogle has amazing tools to increase your SEO, and search engine optimization is key to establishing your music presence online, and Bandzoogle does a great job with that. And it's been a tool for me. It's been my main hub to interact with my audience, my fans, and people who want to reach out and just say hello. And if they ever have a question, which, by the way, if you do have a question, if you want to get a little more personal, feel free to go to ericmugala.com, go on the contact list. I would love to get to know you and to hear from you. But I want to thank Bandzoogle. Thank you for being a sponsor of today's video. Go check them out. You can also click a link down below if you've seen a video of mine before and you've seen me talk about Bandzoogle in the past. I want to invite you to click on a discount link in the YouTube description below. But if you're not sure, if you're on the fence, I recommend that you do a 30-day trial with them and come back to this video, click on the link so that way you can get your discount. Until next time, see you later.